Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Happy Groundhog's Day. Phil, I hope you see your shadow. I hope you run away for 6 weeks. Let's give us a chance to get a real little bit of winter in this year. It's been a while. Let's kick off Tuesday with a thank you. A pod subscriber named Capstar25 dropped a review on Apple Podcasts along with 5 stars. He said, "Great show. Thanks. I always hear all the great things happening around town and local news. Listen on my lunch break." Well, thank you, kind sir or ma'am. It's much appreciated. And if you want to shoot me a DM on Twitter or an email at info@eyeonannapolis.net, I have a $25 gift card to Chesapeake Real Ale Brewery up in Crofton for you. And lest any of you scoundrels think you can trick me, Capstar will need to tell me some specifics about his posting that only he or she might know. Okay, so let's get right into it. More COVID confusion. Way back when businesses were closed, hardware stores were essential and remained open along with the grocery stores. Well, as the vaccine is becoming available, somehow the State Department of Health demoted the frontline hardware store people to Phase 2. However, grocery employees remain in 1C. Arguably, the hardware store employees likely have more direct contact with the customer than a self-checkout register at most grocery stores. But the health department would not budge, so Delegates Mike Malone, Sid Saab, and Brian Chisholm are appealing to the governor to step in. It really should not be this hard. As winter sets in, some encouraging news for the homeless members of our community. The Lighthouse Shelter has taken over a warming relief program at the Stanton Center for this year in the absence of Arundel House of Hope. The House of Hope managed the program in years past but suspended it this year due to COVID and the consortium of churches and being able to do it safely. The Lighthouse is stepping in to provide a warm, safe place to rest, but knowing the perils of homelessness, the Lighthouse has actually increased the threshold for the activation. It used to be when it hit 25 degrees outside, it would open up. Now they've increased that to 32 degrees. So if you are homeless or know somebody that is homeless, please remember the Lighthouse and the Stanton Center are there for you this winter. On the heels of Amanda Gorman stealing the show at the inauguration, Annapolis Mayor Buckley is looking to find the city's next poet laureate. The current one, Temple Cone, was appointed in 2018 for a 2-year term, and now they are looking for a fresh voice. It's a paying gig with a $500 a year honorarium, and you need to be 18 years old, live, work, or attend school in the city, and know poetry. You can find out how to apply and all the information at the city's website, which is annapolis.gov, and then you want to use the search box and just search for Poet Laureate. When you have a goal to raise $2 million and you come up with $1.76 million in the middle of a global pandemic, I'm going to call that a huge win for Special Olympics of Maryland and the 24th Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge. Of course, it was not held in the chilly beach at Sandy Point State Park, but plungers were asked to plunge safely at home and get creative and submit a video. Hundreds of videos were submitted, and you can vote for your favorite on Plunge MD Facebook page. At the end of the week, they are going to tally up the votes and pick the Plunger of the Year. Way to go, Special Olympics of Maryland. With the winter weather here, there are a few closings you need to know about. The morning COVID testing and vaccination clinics that the county is offering are going to be canceled. If you had an appointment, the health department will be in touch. The afternoon clinics are expected to go off as planned, and they will be back on track on Wednesday. Yesterday, Anne Arundel County schools closed, which pushed the end of the semester break for the kids to today. So no school for kids today. However, teachers were supposed to be working today, and last we checked, they were still scheduled. You may want to double check that. And finally, the libraries in the county have also decided to close for a second day due to the cold weather, so they will not be open today either. And finally, speaking of libraries, February is Black History Month, and our area is very rich with cultural history. And if you didn't get a chance to read Carl Snowden's latest column in the Capitol, you do want to check that out. I totally went off topic there, but to get back on topic, the library. They have a month-long series of virtual programming to celebrate Black History Month. Most of them are geared to the age 6 to 10 range, but several are for adults as well. There are discussions, there are author talks, there's concerts. all on tap via Zoom. You can get all the details and pre-register for them at the library's website, which is aacpl.net. All right, that does wrap up the news for us today. As always, thank you for listening. And if you are somewhere where you can leave a rating or a review, please do. And make sure you let your friends, family, and colleagues all know about us because it does really help. Last Saturday was our final rerun of the business series with Pedal Power Kids. If you didn't catch it, go back and listen to it. It was kind of fun. And we will be starting them up again probably on the 13th. If you know of a local business that wants to chat about themselves, please let me know. We'd love to feature as many of them as we can as we all move along through this pandemic. Send me an email at info@eyeonannapolis.net or a direct message on Twitter. A quick thank you to our sponsors for this daily news brief, Solar Energy Services up in Millersville, and to the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company. And as it is every day, George Young from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast weather report. All of that gets underway in just 1 minute after we hear from Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Are you kicking yourself for not installing solar in 2020, missing out on that sweet 26% federal income tax credit? Not to worry, because legislation passed at the very end of 2020 extended the 26% tax credit, which means consumers like you can act now to get that credit and have your new solar system up and running before springtime when solar generation moves into peak season. Plus, in addition to the feds, several state and county incentives help to make the solar investment an even bigger no-brainer. Don't have the cash? We've got you covered with competitive financing that is more than offset by the energy savings. Bottom line, Uncle Sam wants you to install solar, and so does the state of Maryland. And you're going to love the savings, so what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Contact us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, February 2nd. Round 2 of this ongoing winter storm kicked in yesterday afternoon and evening and lasted through the overnight hours, with a few snow bands moving through Arundel County after a cold and icy day Monday, in which AM freezing rain and drizzle started to have a definite impact on sidewalks and driveways, but mainly on bushes and trees around the region, with many bending over to the ground or outright breaking off. More snow showers and maybe some sleet moving through the region today, with temps staying in the low to mid 30s as this winter storm continues to spin in the Atlantic Ocean just off to our northeast with not much forward speed to it, which will help winds gust over 30 miles per hour at times today and tomorrow. Thursday should then finally see some clearer skies and lighter winds with temps into the 40s, but skies will turn active again overnight Thursday into Friday, with a cold front bringing rain chances both Friday and Saturday as it gets hung up a bit on the eastern seaboard, with Friday's highs upper 30s to maybe 50 plus degrees in spots, but then it's back down into the 40s on Saturday and then into the 30s on Super Bowl Sunday, which could bring another coastal nor'easter to the region. Its models are showing a more classic setup for a coastal storm in which low pressure develops in the deep south and moves up the east coast. But that's still 5 days out, so let's see how things progress over the next couple of days with the models as we get through the rest of this nice, albeit somewhat boring and slightly underwhelming current winter storm. And then we can turn all of our attention to the next potential winter weather threat. Beyond that, the expectation for next week is that we'll see some of the coldest air of the winter season starting Monday, with highs maybe only in the upper 20s, as lows possibly get down into the teens and maybe even single digits in spots by Tuesday or Wednesday morning, especially if there's some fresh snow on the ground. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and use our website each day by visiting DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
I've always loved being a realtor because to me, it's more than a job. It's something that gives me an incredible sense of helping others. And this year in particular, when so many people we've helped had to move rather than wanted to move, it gave me an even greater sense of purpose. Whatever the reason for someone's move, from a career relocation to simply needing to downsize, it has truly been super rewarding and a privilege to be able to assist our clients through all the steps of their journeys. Though it hasn't always been easy, we've learned new ways of navigating the home buying and selling process. So whether you need to say goodbye to your current home or are looking for a new house to start the next chapter of your life in, the Kristi Neidhardt Team is here to work with you and for you, because truly we are all in this together.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.